Hello, hello, friends. This is With Wisdom, embodying energy, embracing seasons, and we are coming to an end of the month of February, Sam. How are you
Mm.
feeling?
Well, yeah, I think I said at the beginning of February, this is a birthday month for
Mm.
me. It's a bit like January is your birthday month. So February is my birthday month. And so as we get to the end of it, there's a little tinge of sadness as we kind of finish up. Um, because it means like, oh, my birthday's gone for a year. But I'm kind of good at keeping it going for the rest of the year. So I've planned a few little birthday treats and surprises with friends that I haven't seen for a while going forward into the spring and into the summer. So, how has the end of February been for you? And what's come up from you, maybe from our lovely talk with Mimi last week? Did anything stay with you?
Yeah. Well, I will say several things about my month of February. It was
Mm,
quite of a month for me in many aspects to train patience, acceptance, and also to free myself of tendencies of accommodating my well-being
yes.
in re to not bother other people. So
Mm,
that on one hand, it was quite a powerful month on that. And as you mentioned, I also continued to celebrate my my birthday. So I had going to the movies with friends or gathering at home, and I even one highlight before I talked about Mimi, it was that I went to listen or to see and listen one of my favorite writers, who is Gioconda Belli. Gioconda Belli is a writer and a poet from Nicaragua, and
yeah.
I she accompanied me with her poetry through many seasons of my life. It was so beautiful to witness someone and that person with conversing and having Mimi on with wisdom to be witness of someone that inspire us to continue on our path. They may have in the outer form a different path or a different way to express that, but
Mm,
the core essence of, for example, in the case of Gioconda, she embodied someone that has a belief in dreams that include us all in freedom and equality and dignity. And this has cost her even her nationality, no? The
right.
regime in Nicaragua took away the citizenship of many of the people that were against the regime, which funnily enough is a regime that at the beginning of their political fight in the 70s they were together, but the power corrupts people. And she now lives in Spain with 77. She doesn't have a pension, she doesn't have her nationality, she doesn't have
Wow.
anything. So she lost many things. But I love that she said she's happy because the biggest success in her life is that she's not bitter and that she chose to have hope and belief in humanity and believe in what she believes, and she talked about having dreams that are longer, so has a longer span of what is our lifespan. And then I come to Mimi's sharing last week. It's for me also having teachers and having the gift of learning from someone that embodies and incarnates aspects of the quality of life or personhood that I aspire to be, in the sense of what she shares and lives. So it's not only words. I have been witnessing her through 6 years, um, as a human being, also through the classes and this. Deep investigation and true knowledge of the self, not as something that we command from our head, but that comes from an embodied um, experience of the world and ourselves. It serves for me as a compass through life, right? And allows to even when it's dark or even when it's before dawn, like We are in the brink of spring that may come the light, but we need to keep our faith and hope, like we talked about, renewing our vows and believing and trusting life during the months of February. It's about this. It's about trusting the organic way of being, the way of nature. And that's part of what I bring with myself from Mimi's talk. It's not about this thinking or analyzing or having, or as I said, this month allowed me to break free from things like the engineer in me, and I like the engineer in me, and I'm very thankful that thinks of all these variables, but then life is life and things happen, and you need to be fluidly enough to go with the dance of life. And that's what I'm taking with me. Sam, you are muted.
Myself. To go with the flow, I think is key as well, because this is the water season of the water. So finding that kind of warmth inside to melt any ice that we might be feeling, to melt any feelings of, jaggedness, like, with icicles, and sharpness of the frost, to move that this is just how it is. And that whole sense of the sun comes up every morning in the east, so we can face each day with a sense of excitement and anticipation. And maybe there's something there that our bodies are always seeking that. Our bodies are always seeking that sense of curiosity and anticipation and welcome. So actually, if we allow ourselves to be led by that, what a more joyful day might be ahead of us, rather than one that looks for the clouds and looks for the rain and looks for the darkness. I'm taken away from Mimi's talk quite a lot, but just before I share just briefly about that, I kind of was thinking about my month of February, and it very much is around, there's been a lot of making in my month. Clearly, I've had client work and training work and all that sort of business side of me, that which is again embodied, because in that work I've been supporting leaders to kind of really work with what their body is telling them, as well as just what other aspects of their body, parts of their body, their heart, their gut, as well as what their head is telling them, to try having a bit more of an aligned way of leading in their organizations. But for me, it's been around making and fabric. Fabric and wool has been quite a big part of my month. And recently I went with a very good friend to a part of London that I haven't been to before, which was so joyful. Again, every time I go into my city, I will call London my city, I find a new part that I really enjoy. And in this particular area, I came across a shop which is being run by somebody who's run this place for 25 years. And our whole purpose is around reusing what we have. So it's very much in the craftivist, activist place that I feel very comfortable in. And I'm thinking, well, how did I not know about this person? How did I not meet this person before? How have I lived for however 60 years in London and not been here? So I think there's something around the curiosity and the joy of finding new places in a city that you think well. So kind of being able to take paths. For me, it's like February's been about finding paths that I haven't actually walked before in a place that I think I know very well. So there's been something like that. And with Mimi, absolutely, I took the whole less galloping, more trotting, and maybe the Ambling Gate. And after our talk, I Googled, maybe I shouldn't have Googled, but I should have asked a friend who rides horses about the different kinds of walks and steps that a horse does. And so there's the gallop, there is the canter, there is the trot, and then there's the Ambling Gate. And I was thinking how they slow even the words. You can just slow the pace down. What I've taken out of Mimi's talk is that actually I've been on this path for a while, but if it kind of it definitely kind of cements or reinforces the body wisdom in me that actually this is a good path for me, because this is the path of the slower pace. This is the path where you find you can go around a corner in a place that you live in and find something new and meet interesting people, and also have the time to have a conversation. Because actually, if you're going too fast, you don't have the time to have a conversation with anybody. Do you really? You're like, oh, I've got to go, I've got to rush, we'll be 5 minutes, I've got to go now. And you're in this got to go kind of place. And actually, I'm really happy and enjoying just having a conversation with people.
I love conversations.
Yeah, I know. And that's why
you
we're
know.
having conversations with each other. I love it. But it's also about learning to have conversations with ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's quite a lot that's happened in February, much more than I anticipated, much more than I expected. And that's it. The conversation with Mimi has reinforced and solidified something in me. And clearly it has done for you too.
Yeah.
So
For
I
me
wondered
was
today. Go on,
it was
sorry.
sorry, I was just wanted to say, for me it was such a joy, and thank you for also opening the space here for both of us to have one of my teachers. It's I'm feeling, I don't know, I mean, energetically I'm feeling I'm closing a cycle of my life. I don't know what is coming in this new cycle, and acknowledging the people that are key to me, that has been key, and I hope they come into the new cycle. And I feel, yeah, because it was also a way of renewing my vows with certain path I am in for
Yeah.
this new cycle. So thank you
But
very much,
also
Sam.
opening up the path for somebody else to make a connection with Mimi, to follow some of her teachings, to read some of her writing. Because even if people don't engage, and this is the same with all of the people that we've interviewed over the last year, that people will take away sort of snippets or phrases that will support them in their life going forward. So it's like for me, I feel like both of us we're very, very fortunate. We have this rich community in our lives,
Yeah.
in our individual lives, which we are now bringing people into this community to share. And hopefully that will continue. Well, I know it will continue into the new year. So I feel very, very fortunate that you introduced Mimi into my life as to
Thank you, Sam.
So I wondered whether we take a walk today, and that we take a walk together, and we are going in the Ambling Gate of the horse. We're not in, okay, it's a fire horse, but remember, this is a sense of fire being an opportunity of cleansing and clearing. And I know we're going to pick up more of this when we talk in March, but at the mid-February, so around the time of Chinese New Year, was the beginning of Lent, was the beginning of Ramadan. These are very significant times for millions of people across the world. So I think it's right and proper that we pick up those spiritual beliefs in March and just link them in with what's going on in the season. But for today, we're going to take this Ambling Gate walk, and we're going to start in the snow and maybe end in as the earth starts to warm. And I wonder if you want to join me on that walk.
Yeah, for sure. I'm on it.
You're on it.
I'm
You're
all.
already there. So we're going to take I always talk about a pilgrimage of sorts. That's what I like to write about. So I feel that this is a little bit of a pilgrimage of sorts that we're going to do today together. To start with, that's like we always do. We just really settle into the space. So there's a little shoulder shrug that we often feel that is necessary. And if you can, put your feet on the floor. And I'm going to be slightly quicker with the kind of moving around. And the meditation I'm going to use, I'm actually using the words, I'm kind of riffing a little bit on the words of the Joyful Dabbler. And we will put a link in the show notes so that people can go to that and do this for themselves, or they can, just be with me. And I've added in the horse element into this. So take your eyes around your room, just settle into your space. Notice how your body's taken up space here in this room. Where we feel safe, I've taken my eyes out through my window, over the rooftops. I've just seen a bird flying across the sky, and it's soaring and just so easeful in its flight path. And I've taken some of that ease into my body. And now, as you settle into your chair, take your attention to your feet. And notice how your feet are making contact with the floor. And they're ready to move. So we're not going to do an internal sensing right now. We're just at this moment, we're really sensing our feet. And I might from time to time close my eyes. I might from time to time look at the camera and just checking with you. You decide what you want to do. And if you just want to listen to my voice, feel the same. And I've taken my attention to my feet because my feet want to move. And they're moving outdoors as I find myself outside, away from the city. And I find myself climbing over a stile into an empty field, which is full of snow. And in Northern Europe and definitely in the north of the UK, there is a lot of snow right now. And this expansive field of snow is gently sloping upwards to a very soft hillside. The white covers the green grass. I know that is beneath. And the field looks infinite, and it's not, there are no structures. It's completely unbroken by man-made structures. And just in the distance, I can see some pine trees. As far as the eye can see, the fir trees start to move up towards the slope of the hill and up towards the hill's crest. And they get thicker and darker. So I decide to move towards those trees. What lies between me and the trees is just this expanse of snow. The sun shines down upon this vista and it's unblocked by any cloud, so you can really see the sparkles as the rays touch the snow. As I move across the field, I can hear my feet crunching. I can hear my laboured breath as the coldness hits my lungs. I can feel my nose cold and slightly wet. As I walk, I notice towards the side of the field, slightly hidden by the trees, a small stable shed. And tethered very closely and not very far away is a blanketed horse. And it's munching. It's managed to move away some of the snow and it's munching at some of the grass. And as I walk slowly towards the horse, with a pace that invites a conversation, with a pace that invites connection, the horse turns to watch me as I approach. There's enough slack on the reins that it's tethered to by the fence, so it turns its body to greet me, lifting its head, makes a little snicker, and allows me to move closer. It's given me permission to have that conversation. And as I move closer, I'm able to stretch out as it leans its head forward to touch my mittened hand. And as the nose touches my fingertips, I feel the aliveness of another being in this space, the potential for fast movement, but the need for slowness right now. I bid goodbye and I move on. And I'll see again the snow against my boots as I move across the field. And as I move towards the trees, I notice the snow definitely becoming more slushy, and the brown earth and the thick, dark green grass peeking through. And as the hill appears in front of me, I notice again that I can see more of the earth, less of the snow, and I see more green dots of a darker green coming through the ground. So there's plants as well as grass. And one dark patch after another, I notice some small white flowers, snowdrops, within the spot of dirt and grass, the little blooms looking like bells hanging off their stems, the white petals facing the earth, from which they come, they look so delicate and small, and I crouch down to get a closer look. Their hardiness in late January and February allow them to flourish before any other flowers. The tiny green markings on the petals, the very fine, thin blades of their leaves, and I wonder at how much strength they have to push through the snow, to push through the frozen ground, to unravel for us. So after a short conversation with these beautiful snowdrops, I stand up and take time to enjoy the scenery with the pine trees at my back as I turn, the snowdrops at my feet. The horse on the right-hand side and the vista of the snow-covered field in front of me. And I thank the snowdrops for making their way forth into the world, heralding the coming of spring. So as we stand together, take a deep breath with me. You can smell the pine trees, stretching out your arms. That's a lovely thing to do, Gabby. Really taking in that beginning, that kind of thrumming almost that we might feel beneath our feet as the earth begins to emerge and warm up as we move from late February into March. And as we breathe in some of that goodness, of that sharpness of the ice and the snow, taking it into our deepest part of our gut. And almost like a kind of cleansing breath, letting it seep through us, release any stagnant energy that we might be holding from winter. And after those deep breaths, taking a more considered, coherent breath, maybe 5 in or 5 out, and feeling that sense of renewal, just like when the snow melts and spring arrives. And take strength from those little flowers, take strength from that beautiful connection with the horse, and awaken from winter as we end February. And when you're ready, come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you?
Ah, it was gorgeous. I like it very much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So the horse just appeared. I wasn't planning the horse in that way, but absolutely when I reached out my fingertips, I absolutely felt the aliveness of that
Mm.
companion in the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, did you feel that? I
Mm.
felt that. And I was saying the words, but I really felt that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt that, and I like very much the way you guided the walk through the snow and describing the sensations. I felt totally the snow below my feet and my shoes. So
Mm,
I felt like really actually walking through the snow and sensing the horse presence, which for me evokes kind of a sweetness and a tender presence. I like very much horses. They are also very impressive. Now I remember once when we went to Estonia, we went to farm where they raise I don't know how you say in English stallions.
yes,
These
yes, stallion,
very
that's the right word.
big horses.
Yeah.
Are these ones, right? Which is just crazy because they are, I don't know how many tons of weight, and so
Mm,
they can like crush you.
mm,
And at the same time, I mean, they are quite potent and have this energy, and they can like gallop very fast and
mm,
all this, but they are so grounded and poised, and they can also approach you with sweetness and
mm,
tenderness and really truly presence. When I'm in presence of horses, I feel really seen.
mm.
Yeah,
It's lovely.
yeah. So thank you so much.
So we have the power of the horse, and we have the delicateness of the snowdrop, all kind
Hmm.
of in this month. So it's that there's this sort of yin and yang piece again, and
Mm.
they're both right, and they're both right. And finding the middle way, I think, is kind of for me is something that I'm taking out of this. So there's a
Hmm.
middle way.
Hmm.
And as I started, it's this exploration and walking to find something new and interesting that we can bring into our own lives that will resource us,
Hmm.
regulate us, support us with rest. So, whatever challenges we have, and we were talking off camera before we
Mm.
started recording about, some of those more practical challenges like your washing machine breaking down and
And my
not being able to find the
engineering approach.
stopcock and for me, it might be, I know, some random thing that's happened in my home and they frustrate us.
Yeah.
But actually, it's through these other kind of adventures that we have that can resource us in
Hmm.
that time. So clearly, Mimi's work with you resources you to
Mm.
manage those more tricky situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, as I was sharing off camera, these situations nowadays, some years ago, I faced such situations, practical situations of daily life, are something like challenging me or opposing to my wishes or the ways I wanted, or like a problem, no?
Mm,
And although I'm still like, uh, I feel that, as I said, I'm closing a cycle, I think, and I'm coming together like this yin and yang. No, my whole life I have been more in this yang energy, so I'm quite of a. I'm grateful for that. I'm like a powerful stallion, an engineer, and I plan everything. But now, when I'm in these acute situations, when you have like minutes to react, I can sense and feel the depth of my transformation because it's in there that you see how you will respond, no? And although
mm,
sometimes my programming or my tendencies come, I can like have enough presence to say, no, this is not the way I
yeah.
want to respond to this. I want to. So with the washing machine, no, I plan everything and I thought I cover all the points and loose ends, and yeah, life is life. I'm living in an old building and not everything is working as it should be. And
Yes.
the guys didn't speak German very well, and we were all frustrated. And at the end, I could find or flow. with where the energy flow was going in the direction that will bring me to more peace, even in
Yeah.
this unsteady moment. No? So I could decide not to keep the new washing machine, just to focus myself on solving the other problem. I'm still with no repair washing machine, but I feel more flowy. I even explore the washing salon that is nearby.
Yay, excellent.
But it's as you said,
Yeah.
it's in these moments we practice. So there's another teacher I like that say we practice when it's easy. That when
Mm,
it's all is becoming complicated, you have already all the resources coming organically to you. No,
yeah.
so
Sounds
better
good.
to practice when it's easy.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't have the time and you need to implement like I did for many years. No, I was in acute crisis, in a burnout, and I had to practice also whilst a burnout. But yeah, my advice to people, if they can, please practice when it's easy. That when things
Mm,
come acute, then you will find it will come to you. Life
yeah,
will respond to you.
absolutely. So we're going to finish up for February. There is something around unexpected conversations,
Hmm.
new paths, a slowness of pace, uh, a cleansing energy. So a number of things that we're taking out as we move into spring. Mm. So it's bye-bye for me.
Bye for me. Thank you, Sam.
So we are with wisdom, embodying energy, embracing seasons. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and comment, and share an episode that you liked with somebody in your community, because this is a way of impacting everybody in terms of living with ease, being here, being more present.
Mm.
And one person at a time will make our world a much, much better place for every living thing that lives here.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, friends. Bye
bye.
bye.